Retro games are forgotten for a lot of different reasons, but one really common way is that another game did something very similar in a much better way. Rygar is a perfect example of this. One of the many NES remakes released around the launch of the PS2, Rygar nailed the God of War formula 3 years before God of War even came out. In fact, if you assume that God of War was released before Rygar, you'd immediately start bashing the latter as a ripoff. It's just about all here: the ancient mythology, the weaponry attached via chain, combo menus, the list goes on and on. If anything, God of War might be a ripoff of this game. Sure, Rygar is missing the blood, guts, and sex, but gameplay-wise, it's strikingly similar. It's a whole lot of fun to play the game in a lot of the same ways, chaining together combos and performing awesome-looking signature moves while ripping through countless enemies. Hell, the game even has the sort of physical puzzles that God of War would become so famous for, having you run around pseudo-dungeons performing a string of physical feats to reach your ultimate goal. That's not to say this game is equal to or better than God of War, though. Its story is much simpler. Your entire goal is to rescue a kidnapped princess, and the variety of the enemies you'll fight is much, much lower. Pretty much 1 or 2 kinds of enemy for each area you'll enter. Plus, the camera is absolutely god-awful. Its fixed angles change far too often and way too suddenly, screwing you over almost constantly. At the time it was released, Rygar was kind of incredible. In the PS2's second year of existence, we got this graphically impressive character action game that's almost on par with God of War, which wouldn't be released for 2 more years. But right now, we're looking at how this game holds up today, and that's where Rygar falls apart. And that's because, well, this game pales in comparison to games that have come along since. Most notably the God of War games, but also quite a few other similar games that have simply executed on the formula so much better. And that's all that Rygar has, the formula. There's nothing particularly special or interesting that makes it stand out. The story's extremely generic, the combat is about equal with other games of this ilk, enemy variety is crap, the bosses and set pieces are extremely bland. It's not that Rygar is a bad game, it deserves all sorts of credit for achieving what it did at the time, and in fact, if you're really itching for a well-built character action game, I'd still highly recommend it. But it's so by the numbers that you'd be much better served playing any one of a slew of more modern games that do the exact same thing, only better. Every Monday, I look at a game that's at least 10 years old, what I would consider to be retro, and I see if it's held up today, if it's still worth playing now. If you like that idea, be sure to subscribe so you can see the latest videos. If you like this video in particular, be sure to hit that like button, and thanks for watching.